Okay, so what this is it's economy, ecology, here it is, you can't see it, but it's economy, ecology, and social equity. These three circles, interlocking. Right in the center, where they're balanced, that's sustainability, okay? Economy, ecology, and social equity, right? It covers every aspect of your life. Economics, housing, transportation, land use, healthcare, water, energy, food production, and population control. How about that? China, all these 179 nations have their local Agenda 21 guides, and China has theirs. And if you take a look at it, they are working on a sterilization vaccine with the United States. So here it is. There's a philosophical basis. There's an underlying philosophical basis for all this. And it's really important to know this because, especially if you're talking about climate change, and you're saying, you know, hey, I've got 50 scientists who say it's not true or whatever. Oh no, I have 100 scientists. So I've got 1,000. No, I have 10,000. No, I've got 20,000, right? So think about this. It's the precautionary principle. And this is in Agenda 21. This is part of Agenda 21. And it says that if an action or a policy has a suspected risk of causing harm to the public or the environment, now check this out, in the absence of scientific consensus that the policy or action is harmful, in the absence, the burden of proof that it is not harmful falls on the party taking the action. Gee, that's pretty good, huh? Yeah, you're guilty until proven innocent, right? In the EU, they use this to make law. It's compulsory. In the United States, we call it the precautionary approach, and it's used to make policy. It's used to make policy in the United States if there's a suspected risk. Now, hey, we're doing some suspicioning ourselves, are we not? That this stuff is causing harm to us. But we don't count. We don't count. They don't recognize us as being the experts. And that's their game. So you know what, in 1992 now, okay, check it out. Everybody's going to go, well, hey, I don't see the UN in Bastrop. I don't see the UN here in Texas. Well, maybe they're in Austin. Okay. But here's how it works, okay? Check it out. 1992, the Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit, Bush signed on, actually, executive agreement. This is not a treaty. It was not ratified by Congress, did not need to be. He agreed to it through an executive agreement. Okay? It's soft law. It didn't have to go through Congress, right? Now, he went out of office in November, Clinton got elected in 1993, he took office, and 6 months later, President Bill Clinton created the President's Council on Sustainable Development. All right? The entire purpose of this council was to implement Agenda 21 in the United States. Okay, now who was on it? 10 cabinet-level secretaries, all right, including HUD, EPA, Department of Transportation, Department of Education, Defense, Energy, a whole bundle of them, right? Interior. Those guys were on there. This is the President's Council on Sustainable Development. Who else was on there? Some of the energy producers, like Enron. Ken Lay from Enron was on the President's Council on Sustainable Development. Now, I don't know if you remember Ken Lay, but yesterday, I kind of doubt that Ken Lay is dead. Let's see, it was the day before his sentencing and his body disappeared. They cremated it at 2 o'clock in the morning. Right, okay then. So, anyway, who else is on the President's Council on Sustainable Development? Well, you weren't, that's for sure. The nonprofits, the environmental nonprofits like the World Resources Institute, the Sierra Club, the World Wildlife Fund, they were on the President's Council on Sustainable Development, right? Okay, so what was the first thing they did? Okay, remember, this is how it comes into the U.S., right? It's in the U.S. You're going to see that this is a dusty old plan, that this thing is not here. You got nothing to worry about. Not only that, but you got a tinfoil hat on, right? Yeah. You know what? I want stock in the tinfoil companies. This is ridiculous. This is how it happened. It came right in, right here in River City. And this is how it works. So, 1993, they convened this cabal, and they said, how do we get this into every single city, county, and state in the entire United States? They said, well, let's do it with land use. Let's bring it in as one of the major ways, bring it in with land use plans. Let's implement it because those are all over the country, okay? So they said, well, you know what, let's commission a book with the American Planning Association. Let's give the American Planning Association $5 million to come up with a book so that we can get this into every single location in the entire United States. And they did. Here it is. This is the front cover. It's a 12-pound book, so I didn't bring it with me. It's called Growing Smart, Legislative Guidebook with Model Statutes for Planning and the Management of Change. Got that? Right. So, hey, I am a Democrat, by the way. I did not vote for Obama either time. I didn't vote for the Republican either, though. Yeah, right. Okay. I mean, come on. You must be kidding me. So, all right, so what is this thing? It's what it says it is. It's model statutes for planning and the management of change. Growing smart is smart growth. By 2002, this was in every single planning department, every college, and every university in the entire United States. 12 pounds of statutes. You mix and match, you can pull out anything. You say, oh, you know, you're going to go to your, well, if you're a legislator or you're a county councilor or you're a planner, you're going to go to these sort of statewide or nationwide meetings and you're going to go, well, we tried this one on our town and the people didn't say anything, so maybe you should try it, right? So this is how it works. It's a planning revolution. But the President's Council on Sustainable Development said something else. They said, hey, you know what? If people get hip to this, they are not going to be happy. They're not going to like it. So we have to make them think that it was all their idea. So how are we going to do that? We're going to make them think it's going to be unpopular if we don't pull this together. So they commissioned another book. It's called Sustainable America, A New Consensus. So if you go to your dictionary and you look up the word consensus, what does that mean? That means that here we are in the Bastrop Opera House. Look at how much trouble we had to get consensus in here with this crowd. It would take us quite a while because that is agreement of all parties. That's what real consensus is, okay? But a new consensus is what got commissioned for the President's Council on Sustainable Development. And what is that? What is the new consensus? Neutralization of the opposition. Neutralizing your enemies. That's what that is, okay? Now how do they do it? Now you go to those visioning meetings. You've been in those visioning meetings. You get, come on down, give us your opinion on this cool new plan for the center of Lockhart. Yeah. Come on, yeah, imagine Lockhart. No, it's Bastrop 2020. We want to hear what you think. Come on down. Right, these are visioning meetings. You go into those meetings, they are using a Rand Corporation mind control technique called the Delphi technique. The Delphi technique. It's still on the Rand Corporation website. Yes, what is it? It is about bringing groups of people to a predetermined outcome while giving them the impression that it was all. You re-erect your freedom. You will lose friends. So if you want a vibrant, walkable, bikeable community, if you want a consensus build, if you want to strengthen your community, this sounds good to you. Sounds real good to you. This is a global plan implemented locally. It's implemented locally. So that's how it works. And for those of you who think that I am making this up, I want to show you this cool little book. It's called Rescue Mission Planet Earth, a children's guide to Agenda 21. Yeah, isn't this cute? It's really cute. You can get it for like 99 cents on Amazon. I'm sure they're selling out there like, geez, why are people buying these books all of a sudden? It's been out since 1993. It's pictures and stuff by the children of the world, and Boutros Ghali wrote the introduction. In here you'll find this little quote. It says, "The planet groans every time it registers another bird." Oh, yeah. Now here's the action book, the little activity booklet for kids here. It says, "Turning Agenda 21 into action is a big challenge for us all. Thousands of people at the United Nations and in governments are working on it. This booklet will show parents and educators how children can start to be a part of this work." That's right. That's what C-Scope is. C-Scope is called Common Core in other parts of the United States. This is everywhere. It's about behavior modification. It's about using your children. It's about training children to be obedient, to go along, to get along. This is what it's about. So check it out. Here's the philosophy, like this is what justifies it for people, right? The idea is that life in the suburbs, right, and the rural areas is unsustainable, yeah? And that's because we produce too many greenhouse gas emissions, right? It's that evil sprawl, right? Okay, it costs too much to get public transportation out to rural and suburban areas. Excuse me, what about that train? Well, okay. Anyway, that's the justification, right, for moving us into dense city centers. Dense city centers, and that is where smart growth is, usually. Of course, they're putting smart growth out in very small rural communities. Now, what's smart growth? Smart growth is high density development. That means a lot of units packed together tightly. And oftentimes, and it's mixed use. And what that means is you'll have ground floor retail built right to the edge of the sidewalk, 12 feet high, with 2 or 3 or more stories of residential on top of that. And right, around the back in the alley, you have access for one car parking per unit or less, okay? Around in the front, you've got a wide sidewalk. Your street's on a diet, of course. They took a lane, and it's the same on the other side of the street. This is called a complete street, right? And this is the goal for everywhere. But, except, it is not the goal in the rural areas. The rural areas are the collector areas. Just think about that. So how are they doing this? They are creating this pressure. This is being disseminated all across the world, and they're using a non-governmental organization called the International Council on Local Environmental Initiatives.